This show is a part of the Quite the Thing Media Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to episode 11 of season 2 of the Gamers Watch podcast. I am Shaun, and as always I am joined by Harry.
Clout, all about that clout.
All about
Hello.
the clout. And again, we are graced by the presence of Duncan.
All right, I won't.
Cunts.
I won't no.
I was waiting for the second part.
I wasn't going to call you cunts. So
I got it in that time.
Slip it in halfway through the episode.
That's what she said.
Cheeky. Off to a great start.
Yep.
Duncan really bringing us back to our normal best.
Our roots.
Very sorry.
Within 30 seconds, he's made a that's what she said joke.
You know what you expect when you ask you back on. I mean, it's not surprising.
Utter garbage.
Yeah. Highbrow content, mate. Fucking hell.
Oh.
Just like your penis. Highbrow.
Anywho. If you like this eyebrow content, then be sure to share the podcast. Who are we sharing it with this week?
We are following it with your fellow clout chasers. Anyone that you know that is chasing that clout,
Yep.
please get them to contact us, because we got loads of clout over the last week, yet we've got less listens than we did the week before. So we're obviously not very good at chasing clout. So if anyone out there can follow us and give us some advice on how to properly utilize clout in order to monetize our podcast, that would be wicked. So yeah, with your fellow clout chaser this week, please.
Fellow clout chaser, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter at GamersWatchCrew and leave us a review on your chosen platform, and also buy our bloody merch.
Yes, buy our merch. We did have someone message us the other day saying, where can I buy your merch? And I sent them the link and they said, I don't like any of that. So we didn't get a sale on that. We didn't get a sale.
I saw the question of where is the merch. I didn't see the follow-up.
Didn't like any of that, so didn't get a sale on that occasion, but always next time.
Thanks for the support, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. It's the thought that matters.
That's amazing.
Should we move on to something that's not amazing, Shaun?
Yes, as always.
Game in 60 seconds. So, I had possibly the easiest clue ever for my last game in 60 seconds, and Shaun, your one, Zoe and husband of Zoe, they didn't get it in 10 seconds, did they?
No, they stumbled a bit. They still
They
got
got
it
my
in the
one
end.
immediately.
As soon as they get like 2 wrong guesses, I consider it as we've beaten them.
Yes, definitely.
So we beat them this time.
Definitely. So my clue last week was go to your bloody room, you bellend. And that answer was grounded.
Don't remember the bell end bit being at the
I
end.
don't know. And what was yours, Shaun?
Mine was... Oh, fuck. I forgot what mine was. I've not written it down. Oh, it was...
It was something about a funeral.
It was... I know funerals are supposed to be a celebration of sorts, but dancing on a grave is a bit too far. And
And what was that one, Shaun?
that was Grim Fandango.
It's passable. It's bearable.
He's dancing on a grave, so he's doing the fandango, but it's a bit grim because it's at a funeral and on a grave.
I'll give you that one. Much better than Desperados 3.
No, that one's
So-
still amazing.
There's a slight change this week to our game in 60 seconds, isn't there, Duncan?
Yeah, because you forgot, so I'm doing it for you.
Yeah, but you're not just doing any old game in 60 seconds, are you?
Well-
You're doing it via the medium of poetry.
Yeah, I'm doing a haiku because I'm a fancy lad.
Highbrow.
And some would call me a bit of a hipster, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regale
Okay.
us, Shakespeare,
It's
with,
probably-
with your hearty tone.
It's probably very easy, but we'll see. Begone, bipedal ants. You reside in our land now. These cows must perish.
What?
End of clue. Yeah, you like that? You like that, did you?
Okay. So that was Duncan's haiku. Do you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to edit in some really fancy lute music, so it sounds like you're in a tavern
I'm a
in
bard.
Skyrim. Yeah. So regale us, bard, with your haiku once more.
So I was having some cider. Begone, bipedal ants. You reside in our land now. These cows must perish.
Okay. I have
I
absolutely
thought it was really
no
easy,
idea.
but
I have
apparently not.
no idea. Shaun, have you got any clue?
No, I'm sort of torn between two different games depending on which half I like listen to, because it goes from ants to cows. So
I
have
don't
to
have
think
a
about
clue.
that one.
Duncan, tell us after the show, because I can't be bothered to insert a bleep at any point today. So, unless someone says
Which you just did.
which I just did. So, Shaun, what is your clue this week for Game in 60 Seconds?
Okay, so my clue this week is my reflection.
It's via the medium of dance.
No, that's in a few weeks when
Okay.
we do something else. Mine is my reflection just told me that he only plays games on hard mode because it's much more rewarding.
What?
My reflection just told me that he only plays games on hard mode because it's much more rewarding.
Right. I don't think I'm going to get that one either.
No, I don't think many people will, to be fair.
Okay. Shaun, I'm going to have to insert a bleep. What is that game? Okay.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. But I thought something about it didn't sound quite right. And now I understand why it doesn't sound quite right. It's because it makes no fucking sense, Shaun.
It sort of does, but then this evening's events, I had to sort of like wiggle that little bit in there instead of doing
I
a different
get
bit.
it now. Yeah, I get that. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one then. So, in a change to our regular schedule programming, we are going to be entering the Quaintrix right now. It's normally at the end of the podcast and we end on it, but we're entering the Quaintrix earlier than normal. So, Shaun,
Yes.
your game last time, me and Duncan, we were both here. We both agreed, banger. It was Gaia.
Yeah,
So, I know what game you're going to talk about.
you do indeed.
You
It's
are
the
going
big
to
un.
discuss Sir Crabbington Seaworthy.
Yep. It's about
Take
time.
it away, Shaun. Take it away.
So I have a slight obsession with crabs, and it all started with a few years ago. I went to Plymouth
Got
Aquarium.
them.
I
and
got
they're a bit itchy.
and also I went to Plymouth Aquarium, and the bit where it's like the more local sort of sea life had all these different crabs, and they had like the scientific names on their little label on the front of the tank. So I was looking at all of them, reading the names, and the last one was this just a solitary crab in a tank, and his name was literally just Edible Crab. I thought he's had the shortest end of any possible stick you can get in life. Just Edible Crab.
That was the name. That was the genus of the crab.
Yeah, it literally, the sign just said, I've got a photo somewhere, I'll find it, just said Edible Crab. And
Okay.
that was where Sir Crabbington Seaworthy was born. But the game itself is a platformer, action platformer, and you play as Sir Crabbington Seaworthy, who's this
Can you win this platformer?
You can win it only if you play it on like the most
Use an easy
challenging
mode.
settings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't like being accessible, so
No worries.
But yeah, it's,
So, explain Sir Crabbington Seaworthy, the lore behind it, sort of the gods in the world of this creature.
okay.
Go.
So Sir Crabbington Seaworthy is a sort of poshish sort of person. Like he's got a monocle and a top hat, and inside the top hat resides his butler called I think it was what did I call him? Hermington something. George Hermington, I think it was. And basically you go through the levels. It's like a side-scrolling platformer, but instead of having it with normal platformers where if you jump to a platform above you, you go through it to then land on the platform, you have to sort of navigate around them because you're a crab, so you can sort of hang upside down from a platform. And if there's an enemy above you on the other side, you can like bash the floor with your claws, which will stun them and stuff like that. But you can also do split screen, and if you play in split screen, then George Hermington pops his head out of the little top hat on Sir Crampton's head, jumps off, and player 2 plays as George. And as far as enemies or like big bosses go, the only things I've thought of at the moment is 2 crayfish called the Cray Twins.
Oh, of course. Of course.
But that's it. Yeah, you go through different levels, and I think some of the abilities I've come up with so far is obviously like the ground pound with your claw. You can, if you're George, you can spin, but like retract inside the hat, so it's like a protective shell and like stun enemies. And yeah, that's Sir Crampton. He's been going for 5-6 years now.
Not as good as Gaia, mate.
And I just can't
Just gonna say it.
can't get enough of him. I like the character more than the game.
That's what a lot of people say about this podcast. They prefer the people than the actual content. I'm going to say it, Shaun, mate. Gaia, I think's better. What do you think, Dunks?
I don't love it. It reminded me. There's
All right, Louis Walsh.
There was
You're a star.
there was a mobile game. It was like a crab battle royale, and it was like a top down thing, and you just went round. And if you beat a pretty bit like Man Eater, you beat another crab, you get bigger, and you just on a mission to become the biggest crab. So I thought you were going to go down that route at the beginning, but
No, it's more like Donkey
yeah.
Kong, I'd say, like how it plays.
I'd give it like a 6.5 pincers out of 10. That would be my assessment. Definitely wouldn't spend $70 on it. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, nor would I.
I'm going to say that it has potential to be average. That's my assessment.
That's all I ever want.
There we go. So Crabbington Seaworthy. We'll put that up against Gaia. We'll do like a which one would you rather play?
I've actually got like drawings of Crabbington as well, unlike Gaia.
I know you do,
so I can
Shaun.
put them up.
I know you do.
I like it in a children's book or something like that. I'd read that.
Yeah, I'd definitely give my children crabs. 100%. Definitely up for that. Should we just swiftly move on before I talk too much about giving children sexually transmitted diseases?
Please.
Let's talk about Game Pass or Play. Shaun, we were supposed to play Sea of Thieves: A Pirate Life, weren't we?
We were indeed, yes.
But I've been a poorly boy for basically the best part of a month now, and I've just not had time to dedicate to Sea of Thieves. So you played Sea of Thieves, and I played Doom 64. However, I didn't play Doom 64 on a console because I wanted to do a Game Pass or Play on a cloud game.
Ooh.
And I thought a good game to sort of like trial via the cloud would be a Twitch shooter, like an old school Twitch shooter, to see how it stands up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk very quickly about Doom 64. Yeah, it's good fun. I like it. It's Doom. I mean, everyone knows what Doom is. You run around, you shoot demons, you unlock very, very simple puzzles. You die quite a lot. You get guns, you shoot things. The thing I was most impressed with, though, was that even with my like 28 to 35 meg download speeds, the latency was amazing. So I played with a controller with my phone on a stand, and yeah, like barely any input lag, amazing frame rates, really quick load times, no real issues whatsoever. The only problem that I did have was that when I tried to play it via the browser, I thought that you could use keyboard and mouse, and you can't. That's my only issue with Xbox Cloud via the browser, is that because it's using the blades from the console, it doesn't recognise keyboard and mouse. It only recognises controllers. So yeah, give it a go. It's good fun. Enjoyed it. I've never played an old school Doom before properly. I've played like level 1 of the first Doom, and I've played some serious Sam games, but I really enjoyed it, and I thought it worked very well on the cloud, and I would give it a gameplay. So yeah.
Really surprised how
Fair
good the streaming works on your phone, because I played a bit of Going Under on 4G, and it was like perfect. Like good game. I haven't talked about it today, but yeah, quality wise, it's like I was playing on the console. It's really great.
Yeah, I've been very surprised by it as well. We've been a bit cautious of cloud gaming because of internet services in the UK, and obviously with them expanding 5G, that is going to massively improve it. And I think there is a push to sort of improve the internet infrastructure within the UK. One of the big differences between the UK market and the US market, because I know we've got a lot of US listeners, is we tend to have unlimited data. We don't have data caps. So a lot of the time when people are saying like, oh, streaming can't work because there's data caps. Well, we don't have data caps in the UK. We just have horrendous download speeds to make up for it. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed my time, especially with using it via 4G. I thought it was great, and I did pick up a few other games with some touch controls. I think it's called Scourge Bringer, I think it's called, and that was also excellent, even with touch screen controls. So yeah, Doom 64 on cloud is a big gameplay from myself. Give it a go. Why not?
And try other cloud gaming games.
Yes, and play others.
Because I
Like
tried
Sea of Thieves.
like Sea of Thieves or
Sea of Thieves
Yakuza,
is-
because that's the one I tried when I think it was the day after it came to browsers, and I had to go to the shop with Lucia. So I thought I'll try it on a shop Wi-Fi, which is always terrible. And
Yeah.
I think there was one time where it sort of like lagged briefly for literally like 3 seconds, and then it was perfectly fine after. So yeah, if it runs on shop Wi-Fi, then its future is bright.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So, Sean, how did you find Sea of Thieves: A Pirate Life?
I have a little confession.
Okay,
I haven't played it all.
that's okay. I never finish a game, so don't worry.
I kept running into constant bugs throughout a pirate's life, and it really annoyed me. so
Fair
I can tell you
enough.
about what I have played so far.
Mate, bones and all, go for it.
The like more cinematic and storytelling parts are absolutely amazing, especially if like me, you're a huge Disney fan. Like the amount of Easter eggs and attention to detail for not just like the films but the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland as well is amazing. And then it chucks you into PvP areas and it kind of goes to shit.
Yeah, that's
Pretty-
basically what I've
pretty
heard,
much.
is that it's just full of griefers who stop you from progressing properly.
Yeah, it's really fun until it becomes Sea of Thieves, basically.
Yeah.
But
One of the bugs that I know is
Yeah.
during the second trial. Is that the same trial that you had your first bug with?
that's no, I actually had a bug after completing the first tour tale where if you stood on the ship, you just fell through it and back into the water. So you basically couldn't get on the ship because you climb the ladder and then fall straight through the floor into the water.
That's not good for a
But-
game about boats.
No, especially when there's sharks as well, because you're back into the like PvP area.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chapter 2 was riddled with all sorts of problems when I tried to play it.
I've heard the big one is that you get to a room where it fills up with water, but because it's PvP, other people can enter that room as you're doing the puzzle, and then it just stops the room from filling up with water, and then you can't get past that because it soft locks it until you reset the entire thing.
Yeah, there's also parts where you need certain items, and if someone else claims the item, you can't get it. Or if you do something once you're supposed to have the item, you then can't get the item. And there's all sorts. It just feels like it needed a bit more play testing. The
Yeah.
like areas where other crews can join you. But the actual like Pirates of the Caribbean parts and the storytelling and the cinematic bits are amazing. So I really hope I really hope they do another sort of mini campaign of something and just do complete PvE, because
Yeah.
it's so frustrating trying to do a story and have other people just griefing you.
Yeah, which has always been my problem with Sea of Thieves. Apparently, it means that we're not good enough at the game. We're not playing it properly. Apparently, accessibility options within games are just evil mechanics made by morons and idiots. So, yeah, it's one of the reasons that I don't want to play Pirate's Life is because I don't want to deal with morons griefing me.
See,
I've
it doesn't make sense to me. Like the cinematic PvE areas, I feel are like the perfect balance for Sea of Thieves, because you can have your like story-driven gameplay where there's no other crews interrupting you, but it doesn't take away from the core game. Because to do any like loot-based progression, you still have to do the usual like tasks and that, and go out into the PvP world. So it just doesn't make sense to me why they would make
no.
some of the story-driven parts PvP.
It's either all PvP or no PvP for me. That's how it should be.
To me, I think the first chapter literally was perfect, where like if you just want to do a story and they've spent all that time and resources on like painstakingly crafting this world to tell a story in, it basically just puts you in your own instance. You do the story and then you come pretty much seamlessly straight back out into a normal server. Like I don't get why they can't just do that for every tall tale.
Who knows? Well, I know why, because apparently it goes against the developers' idea of how the game should be. Is that what people use is that the excuse that people use?
It was the excuse. I don't know if it still is now that the developers themselves have done half of an entire campaign as PvE.
So, from what I can see, Sean, the PvE is a gameplay and the PvP is a game pass.
Yeah, until until possibly a lot more hotfixes have come out, because they've done 2 hotfixes in the past week now,
Yeah.
which have fixed.
They're cyberpunking the shit out of it.
Yeah, they fixed like the lists are miles long for each hotfix, so I might go back through it, because I don't know if some areas are maybe not supposed to be PvP, but a bug's allowed another crew in, sort of thing.
Right.
Or I can't tell. I know some of it is PvP by design though, which is a pain in the ass.
Well, the thing that excites me the most about it isn't so much what the game is, but more that it opens up opportunities for more crossovers. I've written a few in the notes. Now, Duncan, we are going to speak about Flight Simulator in a little moment.
Yeah.
However, I know there's 2 things that you love more than anything in the world, and that is Flight Simulator and Star Wars.
You're not wrong.
So the idea of crossovers between Microsoft content and Disney content opens up a lot of options. And I've written in 3 in there. Flight Simulator crossed with Star Wars, Forza Horizon crossover with Cars, and then a Halo Toy Story crossover, which is my sort of like strangest idea that I think could possibly happen. That's what I'm excited for. It's not necessarily this specific game, because Duncan, can you imagine playing a photorealistic TIE Fighter or a photorealistic Millennium Falcon?
I'm just getting a bit sweaty thinking about if you chucked Forza Horizon into the mix. So you start on like a land speeder and then end up in a TIE Fighter, like Flight Sim and Horizon in the same game.
Yeah.
Oh, or if they've done like the Forza Horizon, I'm not sure what they're actually called, the like showcase events where you have the jets flying past you as you're racing down the track.
Oh,
that
one
You could be like on a speeder with TIE Fighters coming after you.
Yeah.
The one they did with the Warthog was fucking brilliant in Forza 4.
The Halo one, that was
Yeah, that's
amazing.
so
That was
good.
such a good crossover. So I think that there's ample opportunity now for Disney to say, right, we have the opportunity to sort of get involved within Microsoft games, and that in itself, I think, opens it up. I personally would love to play as Buzz Lightyear in Halo. I'm just going to say it. I think it would be absolutely amazing.
You say Buzz Lightyear in Halo, but I'm more picturing just a giant RC driving around along with warthogs.
Yes. Oh, that would be amazing. And instead of like a grapple hook, it's just Slinky.
You just lob Slinky at everyone.
Yeah. And the grunts could be Hams or Mr. Potato Head. And they could do like an entire... Or they could be the Green Aliens. I don't know if I can think of that. So yeah,
God.
I would love to see more crossovers with Disney. What would be your sort of like perfect idea, Duncan?
You've already said it, mate. Flight Sim and Star Wars. I can't think further than that. I'm blinded by how good that would be.
Would you prefer it to be Star Wars ships on Earth, or would you prefer it to be like photorealistic areas of Star Wars, so like enclosed areas?
If Playgrounds Games did a like an episode 1 pod racer game, I would just shit myself every single time I loaded it up. Prequels are underrated, just putting it out there.
Well, they're certainly better than the sequels.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Just give it to me. Hurry up. Give me Fable
Shaun,
and give me
what
that.
about you?
I'm really struggling to think of something I would prefer more over Toy Story, because Toy Story is my ultimate Disney thing. I'm looking around now at all my Disney
Okay.
stuff to see if I can think of a film. It's not a crossover, but I'd love to see a sort of Princess and the Frog theme thing, just because I love the like New Orleans Mardi Gras like aesthetic and music and that. So I'd love to see something like that, and like something to do with the bayou.
Well, I would love to see a Peter Pan expansion in Sea of Thieves with Hook. That would be wicked.
And crocodile enemies.
Yes, I think that would be pretty cool. I just think that it opens up a lot of opportunities to be quite excited about in the future for like further expansions. And personally, Flight Simulator Star Wars for me, knowing that they're doing Top Gun Maverick, I think would be utter perfection.
And if Disney is getting more into games again now, hopefully we'll have shorter times between main Kingdom Heart releases.
I've never got into them, so like whatever. they don't butter my toast, unfortunately, the Kingdom Hearts games. But I get the sentiment. A lot of people like them, but I just want Flight Simulator Star Wars, please. Also, we just have to talk about it. Our next thing that we're going to talk about is our most anticipated Xbox games coming out this year on Game Pass. I mean, Duncan, just talk about it. Just spread your love about this game.
Yeah, mine's a bit soppy, really. So mine's Flight Simulator.
Do you want me to put the sad music on again?
Thanks for that, by the way. You don't
That's
have
all
to. So a kind of little bit of backstory. So my dad used to work for Sega, and so when I was kind of early teens, he used to do overtime. Literally round the corner from where I grew up in Malden, and he'd fix arcade machines. So I literally kind of grew up in a free to play arcade. So that's where my love of games came from. And then every other kind of day he had off, I'd go up in his bedroom, and he'd have like 2 screens, sidewinder joystick, and he'd plan out like a whole route on Flight Simulator, and he'd be on it all day. And I never got the appeal, because my dad's kind of like mega into planes, and I saw it's coming out, but he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it's quite severe. And I saw him for the first time at my wedding, and it was quite a shock to see how he was. But we were just chatting about Flight Simulator, and I was like, you're gonna get it. I'll try and get you an Xbox. And he's like, well, I can't, just because of kind of how his condition is now. So like, I'm not like super into planes, but playing Flight Simulator is going to be quite I'm going to be a bit emotional playing that, just because my dad loved it so much, and he would absolutely love playing it. But he can't now, so almost going to feel like it's kind of like passing the baton down. Can't wait to get in his favourite plane, a Cessna, and just go knocking about.
You could make it a thing where he plans out routes, and the Gamers Watch community can fly his routes.
That'll be lovely. See, I remember one time, like as a joke, I just went in, literally nudged the joystick, and it knocked his plane off by 1 degree, and he was probably like flying into like JFK, and ended up in like fucking Yokohama in Japan or whatever. And then you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And I'll be there kind of sniggering to myself. I mean, I certainly won't be kind of as in depth as he will be with it. But I'm very excited, because I think it'd be quite a cathartic experience just flying about. And I mean, it looks incredible anyway. Like, just almost feels like it's a bit more of a game, just to be a little bit wanky about it. But yeah, that's it. Can't wait for it. Probably will have a little cry.
Thank you for that, Dunks.
Oh, thanks. That's all right, mate. Slightly unrelated, but it's to do with kind of just visiting places that you've been to. I don't play Forza Horizon 4 a lot, but I keep it installed because I got engaged in Edinburgh a couple of years ago. Halfway up, oh bloody hell, I forgot what it's called now. Arthur's Seat. We found like a little broken down cathedral that I proposed that overlooks the city. And every now and then I'll just load it up and just kind of have a little drive up there just to remind myself. And you just forget kind of how everyone's like, yeah, games are great, you're a nerd, you play games, but it kind of, to a lot of us, it means like so much more than just, half an hour distracting yourself.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I can safely say that I'm even more excited to play Flight Simulator now, Duncan. So, yeah, thank you for that.
So I'm going to have a little cry and a cuddle with Georgia now, I think.
That's all right, mate. We can let Shaun talk about his game while we just go off and sob.
I should have led, because I can't beat that. I got
What are you
Halo
looking forward to,
Infinite.
Shaun?
What can I say about that? I don't even play online games.
Is that actually your most anticipated? I don't know.
I would say it probably is more because of how they're approaching different parts of the game rather than the game itself. Although, to be fair, Halo 3 was probably the online game I've played the most in my gaming life, with like the Forge and just literally pissing about on it, not actually playing it seriously. So I'll try and get as much online time with Infinite as possible, but the thing I really like is how they're approaching the online with the seasons and battle passes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll tell you one thing as well, is he's an avid listener of ours, the General C, who's one of our sort of like main Gamers Watch gang members. He makes some amazing Halo content. I'm also really excited to see what he's going to produce when this game comes out. And also, I would love to... I'm a big Rooster Teeth fan, and I'm a huge Red versus Blue nerd. And part of me really, really wants to see that rebirth of sort of like old school Red versus Blue. I would love to see Rooster Teeth remake the first season in Infinite. It's not going to happen because like everyone involved is now doing different things. But yeah, I'm excited for Halo, but I can't say that I'm anywhere near as excited as I am for Flight Simulator. And I think as soon as Flight Sim comes out, I will never play another game ever. I'm worried.
It's probably my second most anticipated game because it was like first person shooter was Battlefield. But then after I read your article, Shaun, about it, I was like, oh fucking hell, that actually sounds like really good. And yeah, so it probably is my for an actual game. I'd probably say Halo Infinite is mine now. Because I say like, Halo 3 was unbelievable multiplayer. And especially like you pointed out that it's a game that respects your time now. I'm so sick of playing games that you have to play, otherwise you'll lose out. So it really love.
If you don't log in at a certain time on a certain day, then you'll miss out on an XP boost or a different type of helmet.
Yeah.
I played a lot of. Sorry, Shaun.
So I was just going to say the perfect example recently for me was Sea of Thieves when they started the new season layout. I bought the Plunder Pass for season 1, and I literally played that game non-stop for a few weeks to get to the end of the Plunder Pass. Otherwise, I'd lose all the items that are in it. And then I think it might have been during the season actually. They done a like fishing event where you have to catch this certain amount of fish on a certain day to get these different types of fishing rods and that. So I was trying to do that as well, and it can happen so quickly with me with online games that are set up like that, where I just get burnt out and I'm like, I can't be asked to play this game for a few months now.
Yeah.
And by the time you come
like
back,
forcing you to have fun.
Yeah, and by the time you come back a few months later, you've missed like 50 events. So you're like, oh, what's the fucking point? So
I played so much Modern Warfare during the first lockdown, which is my first mistake. But I bought a battle pass on that, and I played so much of it just to hit level 100 to unlock a skin that I never used, and I thought, what is the fucking point? And I hated the game by the end of it because I played so much of it, just sick of it.
Well, it's designed by that on purpose. I mean, all you need to do is listen to what Jim Sterling has been telling people for the last 5 years, that these games aren't made by developers anymore. They are made by psychologists, and they use psychological tropes, much like social media does, to keep you interactive, and it tracks everything you do in order to tailor an experience that makes you carry on playing to entice you in. It's why I refuse to play FIFA games anymore, because they're just gambling simulators for children.
And you see all the stuff with FIFA, like all their patented tactics where they kind of gently nudge you into buying Ultimate Team cards and packs. Just
it's the first thing you see when you open the game.
It's awful.
And even I think in career mode as well, or on the menu tab for career mode, because that's the only mode I ever play when I do play FIFA, is advertising Ultimate Team.
Yeah, so it's done by design, and I think that the way that Halo is breaking that mold, I really hope has a positive effect for video games moving forward.
Well, it's the first online game that I can actually see myself playing years down the line as well. Cause
you won't be soft locking yourself out of anything by not playing it for a few weeks.
No, exactly. If I play if I buy a battle pass and then before the season's over, another game comes out that I want to play, I can literally put it down for a few months, come back and be like, oh, I haven't unlocked that bit of armor yet, and just carry it on. Or if I put it down for a year for some reason and come back to it and be like, oh, that piece of armor came out 7 months ago, I'll just get the battle pass for that and chip away at that. So it will never feel like I've missed out on something. Like
you said in your article that you wrote, it respects you as a gamer. And my hope is that developers will see a big, successful game coming to Game Pass with a free online to play model with limited microtransactions doing well, and I hope it changes things. I don't think it will, but we can hope. We can, but hope.
You never know. A game as big as Halo will have the power to change things. The only thing it will come down to now is how much those battle passes will be, because I don't think they've said them yet.
If they're a really egregious pricing model, then everything we're saying now is meaningless.
Well, it's 3 months each season, so I'm guessing they're probably going to be around £9 to £15,
which isn't horrendous.
No, if they've got a fair amount of content, then that's not too bad. I mean, I think if I remember right, Sea of Thieves was between 9 and 12 for the Plunder Pass.
I think so, yeah.
I wouldn't mind paying it because you're supporting that activity of a free to play game that respects you. So I'm finding it really hard to justify pre-ordering Battlefield now because I was like really mega excited for it. But since all the Halo info's come out, I still haven't pre-ordered it yet, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to now, because $70 is just a joke for
For
a
something
game
that Halo gives you for free.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I very much hope it's a massive success.
I do as well. And there is also something else that I wish is a massive success, and that is possibly the best segue that I've ever done in my entire life on this podcast. Shaun and Duncan, you both have Series S's, don't you?
Yep.
Yes.
Have you ever thought to yourself, look, I love this console, but what I would love more about this console is if I could plug a TV into it. But then you go to plug a TV into it and you're like, it's on it's on the wall. I want to take the TV with me. I want to be on the move. I want a portable Series S. Have you ever thought of that?
It would be quite handy because when I get kicked out of the bedroom for snoring, I can go in the other room and
There you go.
plug it in.
Basically, there is a company called UpSpec. You can find them on Twitter, UpSpec Gaming. They had a Kickstarter, and it is essentially a HD TV screen that plugs directly into your Series S for, I think, $120, I think the pledge is. It's not too expensive. So it's between like $100 and $200, somewhere around that mark, and then there's some shipping fees. And it basically turns your Series S into the world's largest portable console. It looks incredible. It looks utterly immense. And they met their Kickstarter goal within 20 minutes. Completely smashed it out of the park. They've also got a campaign on at the moment. They're giving one of these screens away for free, and you can find out information for that on their website and on their Twitter, which is just type in UpSpec Gaming on Twitter and you'll find them. I've been talking to the guys that have been making these screens and making the Kickstarter, and they do have a press kit as well. I could just sit here and read out a press kit, but it's probably a bit boring. So we're getting Shaun to write an article about it instead. Shaun, you're talking to him to get a little interview from him, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah. I'm hoping to hear back soon. I know because obviously they're Australian based, so time zones. But yeah, I'll be writing up the article about them hopefully tomorrow, I'd say.
It looks like a really great little bit of kit.
I want one. I will take that everywhere. I'll take it to my parents so I don't have to keep dragging the HDMI cable and all that with me.
You don't have to run the juice out of their TV.
No, I can run the juice out of my own X screen now.
Yeah.
And I can take it to the shop, so whenever Lucia's like, can you help me with this customer? I can be like, shut up, I'm sailing the seas. So I will literally take it everywhere. It will.
One of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up is I don't think the Series S gets enough credit for what a great little machine it is.
It's so
obviously,
small.
Duncan, you've got one.
Yeah.
Shaun, you've got one.
I've
would
got
love
it
one
sat
as
next
well.
to me in my office at the moment.
I would absolutely love one. Now, I don't know if either of you are aware of this, but did you know that it is also basically the world's best emulation machine?
No, didn't know that.
So, there are tutorials that you can find on YouTube, and I am not endorsing this because you do have to download some emulation software, which is naughty. However, it doesn't void your warranty on your console. So if you have a Series S, there are some videos that you can find on youtube.com that basically turn your Series S into the most powerful emulation kit ever, and it will play any game from PS4 down to original dot matrix systems. Everything up to the PS4 era. It also can play PS3, PS2 and PS1 games. The PS5 can't even do that. The PS5 can't do that, and the Series S can emulate any console prior to the generation that we're currently in. It can't emulate PS5, but it is like this monolith of a machine. So Retro Joe that I speak with, he makes machine cabinets and arcade cabinets. I've spoken to him about this, and he's openly said the firmware involved and the hardware that Xbox have produced is like nothing else he's ever seen in terms of the raw emulation power that this machine has. and added on to the fact that you could turn your Series S into every console ever made, you can now have a portable PS3, a portable GameCube, a portable Wii, a portable anything, all in one tiny package. And I think that's amazing.
If you could have one game, so if you had to just emulate one game out of all time, what would you pick?
Oh my goodness.
I'll put you on the spot there. I'll tell you mine. WWF No Mercy for the N64. best
If
sports
you've got
game
a Series
ever.
S, mate, if you've got a Series S, then you can do that. If we're talking about sports games, then it would be FIFA 98 Road to the World Cup with 45-minute long halves, indoor football, yes please, with Teddy Sheringham. I would probably say, I'm going to be really lame, like Vice City is my favourite game I've ever played, and I think that something quite important for gaming in general is like gaming archival, because like we saw when the Flash plugin just got like disabled, we lost all those Flash games. There is no way to play Vice City on a modern console unless we wait 5 more years for GTA 6 to arrive. But Vice City is my favourite game of all time. I would say really anything from that sort of PS2 era that is very difficult to play now on a Sony console. I'm going to say Vice City. What about you, Shaun?
I'm going to say the most random game possible because all my other favourite games have got remasters and all that.
Is it Klonoa?
No, it's...
Is it Earthworm Jim? Return of the Worm?
It's a PS2 game, and it's a game that me and Hannah, my sister, used to play non-stop. And
is it Toy Story 2, Zurg's Return?
No, it's called Downhill Domination.
Oh, I love that game.
About 95% of the people I talk to have never heard of it.
Immense game.
It's so good. It's basically just like it's literally a BMX race down these massive steep mountains, but you do like ridiculous tricks in that while you're going down, and you can also try and knock people off their bikes by like punching or kicking them or throwing a bottle.
Shaun.
What?
We're dumbasses.
What
game do you want me to play for Game Pass or Play?
Oh yeah, Descenders.
Descenders. I thought you were going to say Descenders when you started talking about Downhill Domination.
Is that why it reminds you of it?
Yeah, I was like, that sounds a bit like Descenders. Oh, maybe that's the game Shaun wanted me to play this week.
It is, yeah.
Right, okay.
Downhill Domination. It was made by the what were they called? Was it Neversoft? The eyeball logo done the Tony Hawk's games.
It
was made by them. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Shaun, I asked you 2 questions, didn't I? I said, do you want a long game or do you want a short game?
Yep.
And what do you want this week? You want a short game, don't you?
I want a short game just because I've got to get used to After Effects for the next few weeks.
Okay, so...
And I'm glad I said short because you told me what my long game was, and that's fucking long.
Yeah, you don't have time to play that.
No.
Spoiler alert, Duncan. I was going to get him to play Final Fantasy VII, but...
Fucking hell. We've got 100 hours to spare.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on a bit of a Final Fantasy splurge at the moment. Duncan, I've got 2 games. Shaun, take your headphones off just for 30 seconds so you can't hear me.
Okay, 2 secs.
Okay.
Okay, they're off, so I can't hear a word you're saying.
Okay, so should I get him to play A Plague Tale or Going Under?
I'd say A Plague Tale.
Cool.
It's a better use of time, I reckon.
Right. Well, he can't hear us, so I don't know how he's going to know when to come back. So
just scream.
I guess we just
headphones.
talk. Shaun. I didn't think this through, did I, Duncan?
Shaun.
I don't know how I'm going to get him back.
You said 30 seconds, so...
Let's okay, we're going to cut. We're going to put some like on-hold music on for the time being.
I just thought, how am I going to know when to come back?
Are you back now? Are you back?
I'm back. Have you finished this?
Yeah, I finished like a minute ago, and I was saying to Duncan for the last like minute, how am I going to tell him to come back? And I started screaming your name.
I was just sat there. I just thought, hang on a minute.
I said to Duncan, right, we're going to cut and I'm going to put some on-hold music on. So we have just like restarted the podcast now, by the way. So this is now part of the recording. Yeah, I've just been saying to Duncan, like, I have no idea how I'm going to get his attention. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done. Shaun, I am going to get you to play A Plague Tale Innocence.
Oh, okay.
I've started playing it. However, because I've got like a little son, I'm finding it quite difficult because there's lots of moments where the little boy in the game is in danger, and I'm like, oh, that's quite sad. And it's really, really difficult for me to carry on playing knowing that this little boy, that you have to like hold his little hand and stuff. Yeah, I can't do it. So Shaun, you're going to play it instead.
I'll play it because I haven't got kids, so
It's just had
it won't affect me.
Just had the free patch for next gen as well.
Yes.
It has.
So-
Now, Shaun, one thing I just want to say about that patch is quick resume doesn't work with it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Because I switch between the Series X and Series S depending on if I'm having to be in the office. It shuts down quick resume because of the cloud save.
Right. So you're used to it,
I hardly ever use quick resume then. No.
The good news is it saves quite often anyway, so you won't miss much. But yeah, I want you to play a Plague Tale Innocence.
Fair enough. Also, I've just remembered something else we forgot. The little giveaway we're doing.
Oh my god, we're actual
Get
morons.
them klaxons.
We haven't even thought of a code word, have we, Shaun?
I thought of a word. It was just the first word that popped in my head.
What's the first word that's popped into your head then, Shaun?
Potato.
Potato. Okay,
Yeah.
So Duncan, you probably don't know this, but Wandering Dutch, the legend, the man, the myth, he has provided us with a fantastic giveaway. Shaun, I've forgotten what the giveaway is, so take it away.
Oh my god. It's 6 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Bloody hell.
Pretty good prize. Very good prize. Now, to everybody listening to this podcast, do we have our DMs open on Twitter? I don't think we do we?
No, but we will by the time Saturday rolls around.
Yeah, and hopefully the abuse has stopped by then. So,
Yeah.
all you need to do to be in with a chance to win this
Well, actually,
prize...
no. We don't even need to do it Saturday, do we? Because it's after 4 weeks.
What do you mean?
There's a password each episode for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then whoever sends us all 4 passwords first gets the prize.
Is it all 4? I just thought anyone that sends us the password, we put them into a pot and then we just pick the names out. I thought if they, like, every time they say the password, that gives them another entry into the prize.
No, because the whole point is to get them to listen to more episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Engagement, man.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, what we'll do, we'll have to open our DMs up. And then when they listen to this, they send us the word potato. And then the next week after that, they send us the next word. And then after 4 weeks, you'll have like a recipe for a meal. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. Yeah. Potato's the clue this week. DM us and say potato. And if you DM us 3 more times over the next 3 weeks, you could win 6 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Does that sound right, Shaun?
But I'd still say just
Okay.
message all 4 at once after the 4th episode because
Okay, but you don't specifically have to do it that way. You can, if you want to, message us potato now, because if it gets to the 4 weeks' time and then the person's like, shit, I forgot the first one, so just message us potato. Send us a picture of a potato. Send a potato to number 1, Gamers Watch Road, Gamers Watch Street, GW1, 1GW.
I thought you were going to make the postcode then like GP6 and
No.
something.
So, no, I'm not that stupid. So yeah, send us a picture of a potato, send us the word potato, and then there'll be more clues over the next few weeks. And then if you get all 4 of the clues and you're the first person to send us all 4 of the clues, then you'll win Xbox Game Pass Ultimate 6 months, courtesy of Wandering Dutch, who is the host of the Midweek Mix-Up podcast that we are now a part of the
Midweek
collective.
Mix-Up Collective.
Yes. Did I get it right, Shaun?
Yeah, you got it right.
Right. I mean, look, as good as that prize is, as absolutely amazing as it is to be part of the Midweek Mix-Up Collective, don't let that distract you from the fact that in 1998, The Undertaker threw Mankind off Hell in a Cell and he plummeted 16 feet through the announcer's table.
Did you see my message yesterday, Duncan, about how I don't know how to feel that this is Harry's favourite meme when he absolutely hates wrestling?
Wrestling's a piece of shit.
And in
But the
another
GIF
group chat we've
It's
got,
amazing.
in the chat we've got with, I put a gif of Dude Love and Cactus Jack, and Harry was saying, "Who the fuck's Dude Love?"
I'll get out.
I normally, of an evening, don't Google Dude Love because the last time I did that, didn't appreciate what came up on my screen.
Yeah, but you can do Cactus Jack.
I think I've heard of Cactus Jack. I know who Giant
Bang.
Haystacks is.
That's not, it's not Cactus.
Come on. It's the same man.
No.
Jeez.
You're speaking Chinese to me at the moment, guys. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
I know Matt
Mankind,
Hardy.
Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack are all the same guy.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's the
only-
three faces of Foley.
I think the only wrestler to ever
Wait,
enter
is
the
he
same
Mick
Royal Rumble
Foley?
3 times. Yes, Mick Foley.
Yeah, he's
So
those
is-
three characters.
Okay, so I.
Four guys.
Okay, confession time, guys. I have been watching the clip of Mankind being thrown off the Hell in a Cell by The Undertaker, plummeting 16 feet through an announcer's table. I've been watching that like non-stop for the last 2 weeks, right? Like constantly non-stop. And I've been wondering over the last like week, why does this guy called Mick Foley keep turning up in my YouTube algorithm? Like, who is this guy? And I keep getting videos of like Mick Foley like on a random news channel, or like Mick Foley talking about, oh, that makes sense because the video I saw today was Mick Foley describes his time in Hell in a Cell. That really does make sense. Right. But yeah, it's like, it's my funniest gif just of this dude just plummeting off the top of a cell, smashing through a table, and all I can hear in my head is that whatever the announcer's called going,
Oh my god.
by
Yeah.
God,
If you
he is broken in half.
if you watch the
It's
clip as
amazing.
well, I'm not sure if the GIF version cuts off
They
before
like
or
nearly
not.
fall through the cell.
The camera pans and you can see JR shouting while like, because he got knocked back when when Mick Foley went through the table. You can see him like lying off his chair with his jacket like sprawled out, just shouting that line down the
So-
microphone.
Did they know that was going to happen, the announcers?
No.
They probably would have
It's-
planned the stunt, but yeah, they wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a
They wouldn't
lot of
have
things
natural
that
reactions.
Because
Yeah.
look, I don't like wrestling. I don't think it's very good. However, it does make me laugh when people are like, it's fake. I'm like, pretty sure that dude did just get chucked off the cell.
Watch like
Yeah.
look up like classic ECW matches. Like just so violent. Great, absolutely loved them.
Yeah.
well there was
New
a
Jack.
bit
I'm
that-
pretty sure that like that dude did actually get thrown 16 feet
Yeah.
onto an announcer's table. Like,
there was
pretty
a
sure
bit-
that happened. Saw
was
the
a bit
video.
in the,
Looked pretty real.
there was a bit in the same match later on as well that wasn't planned, and the Undertaker was supposed
Wait,
to
they
choke
carried
slam him.
on?
Yeah, they carried on. The Undertaker was supposed to choke slam him on top of the cell, and him just like land on the cell. But the mesh broke, so he fell through the cell then into the ring. But because he had a steel chair that he was gonna land on with the choke slam, the steel chair goes through the cell as well, smacks him in the mouth on his way down, and it knocks a tooth through his lip and into his nose. And there's a clip where he's sat against the turnbuckle
And
smiling,
he's just
and you can
yeah.
yeah, you can see this tooth just coming out of his nose that's gone through his lip.
What?
He's a nutter.
Well,
Absolutely
that-
insane, Mick Foley.
That
Barney-
just
hang on.
brings a whole new level of appreciation
Shall I
for
stop
what is
recording?
my favourite meme ever.
Shall I stop recording?
Have you stopped recording?
Have I? Or should I?
No, I'm carrying on.
Oh, I'm
still
still-
going.
I'm still
I wasn't
recording.
sure. I wasn't sure. So I just thought
You had me worried then, mate. We've not done the outro yet, mate.
Oh, that was the fucking outro because you said that
No,
on
we-
the thing.
No,
Fade
we've
out
not
on
even
that.
said thanks for listening and fuck
That's
you.
right. We'll cut all this out.
Just start
What's
fading it
going
out
on?
with the plummeted thing, and then just fade back in for 10 more minutes of wrestling
Yes.
talk.
Yeah, mate, we're still going. This is still part
right.
of the podcast. This will be in the episode, mate.
Oh, you also
What-
blew
say
his ear
say
off
hello
with
to everyone,
C4.
Duncan.
You what?
Say hello, Duncan. Say hello to everyone.
All right, cunts.
Fuck it. Should we just do the outro?
But yeah, Mick Foley also blew his ear off with C4.
What? Nah, mate, you can't fucking say that.
Seriously?
What?
It was a C4 and barbed wire match, and he landed on it, and
Oh,
it went off.
They are not words that go together.
It went off, and it blew his ear off.
Was it against Terry Funk? Is that one?
I think it was, yeah.
What the fuck? Right, I'll tell you what. Just fucking do the outro, Sean. I can't even handle this right now. I cannot handle a bloke who has a tooth up his nose and an ear blown off. I can't do this, Sean.
And says, "Have a nice day."
Do the outro.
Oh, thanks for listening to the
Fuck
Wrestlers
my
Watch
life.
podcast. Or the WWP. You can, if you can share it with your. I forgot who we're sharing it with again.
clout chasers.
Oh, your local clout chaser. That
Share
was
it with
swell.
Mick Foley. Fuck
Share-
it. Just call him up. That's 3 more downloads for all of his fucking alter egos, isn't it? Christ alive.
Oh,
Buy
and
our merch.
Don't forget, buy our merch and have a nice day.
Keep on listening.
And keep on gaming.
Fuck my life. What a mess this podcast was.